Hello, screenwriters, and welcome to Writing for Screens, the screenwriting step-by-step project, episode 150, chapter 150 in the ongoing experience. I am Glenn Gers, and I am here every Monday through Friday, Pacific Standard Time, if I can make it, to let you look over my shoulder, share my screen as I write a script. I'm doing this in order to demystify the script writing process. There's lots of screenwriters teaching out there who are showing you what a great script is like and how to get into the business and all this stuff. But my feeling is a great script that doesn't get written is going to be the biggest problem you have in making that script great. So I'm just trying to show you how you get something written. It's not the best process, it's not the only process, but it is a practical way to get a script written. From my 25 years experience as a TV writer and screenwriter here in Los Angeles, California, I'm just going to walk you through what I taught myself to do in case it is helpful to you when you are facing the blank page. Everyone is different. Every project is different, even for every writer. So there's no one way to do this. Find out if this works for you. If it doesn't, then that's great. This may show you something else that is. There is no purpose to any screenwriting education that doesn't help you write your script. Take what works for you, get rid of the rest, learn from other people. It doesn't matter as long as you get yourself to sit down and get the thing written. You do not have to watch all of these, by the way. I love to hear that people are working their way through all 150 plus, but you do not need to. You can just drop in now and then. You can watch them a little bit. You can skip around. It's not like there is like a special sequence that you have to get this right in. It's just bits of insight, how I do it, and what I think of as I do it in case that is useful to you. Hello, Javier. Happy Monday to you. Groovy Monday indeed. Hello, Division 5. I know, 150 hours. Good Lord. Yeah, no, TV series don't do this because it's hard and expensive to make a TV series. I just have to show up and push a button and talk for an hour. So, yeah. Hello, Natasha. It is great to see you all here. Yeah, it is time to move ahead to get more. We are almost at the end of the cutting, the first draft. So I want to get to that because that's how you learn. That is the good education right here. Hold on. Let me show you what we're doing. This is the script. This is the rough draft. It was originally 94 pages. Because I just put anything I could think of down, any random bit that might become a scene, any part of the dialogue that I thought was interesting, because it is better to have it on the page than to have it in your mind and say, oh, I don't know if that's right or wrong. You can't keep it all straight. And the experience of writing it down is part of what shows you whether it's good or not. You really can't write the whole thing in your head or get ready or feel it and then just get it out perfectly. It never comes out perfectly. It comes out as what it is, and then you have to write, revise. I was looking to see if I have that here. Nope, I just have this part. Write it down. Write down the rough idea. Write down what you have, and then you can figure out what you don't have and what isn't working and all that stuff. So having spent a long time on the outline, but still not long enough to be honest, if I was not doing this as a show to try and demonstrate, I would have actually gone over the outline another month or so and tried to really answer some of the questions that I wasn't sure about. But instead, I wrote the rough draft and asked the questions as I hit them in the script. That resulted in a script that was way too long. Ideally, a 60-page script for a 60-minute episode. The industry standard is 1 page per minute. That's not actually accurate, but that's how the industry judges things. So if you write a script that is over 120 pages for a feature, over 60 for an hour long, over 30, although half hours are weird. They space them differently, so they actually come out at like 50. Anyway, the point is 1 page per minute. If you go over that, people in the industry think you don't know what you are doing. All right, so we're in the last scenes, the big last sequence, which is a lot of talking. And as a result, I am actually almost at the end. Hello, Michael. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. All right. I'm not even sure who says this, so I'm going to get rid of that. So it's someone who doesn't like it. So I think we can. Hi, Jean. Welcome. What I'm doing now is just reading through and cutting phrases, words, or ideas. Sometimes the thing is, remember, words carry ideas. This is really important to remember. So therefore, if you add an idea in, it is expected that the other characters will react to that and take it in a new direction. So you want to be careful about throwing in random ideas that no one picks up on. When I was doing the rough draft, I threw in every idea I could think of because I didn't want to lose them. However, now it's time to lose them. This is actually in the wrong order. I had Deakins asking about the evidence, and then he's just listening, and then Madeline goes on with this other thing about talking to the police. We're going to just cut that. Looks like you killed George because he was going to reveal new evidence. So, okay, this is just repeating what we said up here. So I'm just going to put that with there. Cutting. Okay, see, this is just like thought. There's no actual progress where people are moving towards a goal. This is just, I had certain topics I wanted to cover, like an alibi. And I'm just going to take that right out. Hello, Shruk. Is it pronounced Shruk? Welcome. Please, if you can, type in how I should pronounce your name. But I'm so glad that you made it too. That's marvelous. All right. This is a weak ending to the scene. And it's like we've got this stuff with Xena, and then that all comes after. Shark! Hi, Shark. Okay. Shark. Very nice to meet you. Thank you for being here. I am cutting. This scene was just a pile of different ideas. Because I want to know how we know, and then they'll waste time looking for you. You're going to waste time for trying. See, there's like different ideas, but they're not in any order. And I'll tell you that part of the reason, I don't know what I'm heading towards. I'm heading towards Deacon's leaves. But I do like this. I like this idea that she's saying, and kind of true, that they are the only ones he can honestly talk to. This is a weak ending. So I'm going to have to think about what this is, but at least I can get rid of the stuff. Okay. I'm putting that back. I had that in before, and it's how she talks. No problem. People ask repeated questions all the time. Okay, this is obvious. Yes, exactly. But if we don't tell. If we don't, but we don't tell the police, they're going to waste time looking for you. Right, for scenes, do you mean specifically for scenes? Or just how to get ideas to write stories, just things to write about? Or do you mean specifically ideas for scenes? Because those would be two different answers. Overall, how do you get ideas? That's a good question. I'm going to actually take a little pause. I'm going to do a full episode on that. But right now, ideas, the truth is, and this is tricky, different people are different. I get ideas all the time. The question is how to decide which one to use. I find it hard to find a writer who has no ideas. If you have absolutely no ideas, why do you want to write? You must have had something that you wanted to write in order to say, I want to be a writer. So somewhere in there, you may think it's a bad idea, or you may feel like it's not worthy or something, but you'll have had an idea. I tend to find ideas all over the place. I think that you get ideas from experiences in your life. You'll see something, it'll make you think. The more you spend time working on developing stories, the more you see ideas, the more potential you see. Very often, I will be watching something and it will give me an idea, not to do like the thing I'm watching, but that some minor character or some scene will go a certain way and it will make me think about that moment as a larger question for another story. For instance, I will often I will think a story is going a certain way, and then when it doesn't, I'll be like, oh wow, well that's an idea then. This thing that I thought was not. Very often it's a minor character in somebody else's story. I'll be like, that's an interesting person. Sometimes it will be just a type of story or a story twist. The point is that there's you don't get an idea for a full story. You get an idea for something that's a specific moment or character or message, and then you have to build the story around it, which is why I say the more you practice building stories, the more you have experience building stories, the more that you will be subconsciously on the lookout for those materials, and you'll be familiar with the fact that you don't come up with a whole story. You come up with an idea that could be in a story, and then you build the story. So therefore, the first thing you have to do is capture it. Capture everything that comes into your mind as much as possible. We're living in a wonderful time for this because you can just voice memo yourself. You can jot a memo on your phone. I used to scribble it on a piece of paper and then type it into the computer later. But somehow or other, you need to start to actively notice when you come up with a character or a plot twist, or, I'd love to do a story about somebody very often reading the newspaper, which I tend to do thoroughly. Partly because you'll just read, I just read about 2 nuns who embezzled from their order, or a person who faked their own death, or the life of a truck driver. There's just an extensive couple of articles in the New York Times about the hard life of a long-distance truck driver in the United States right now. And I was like, wow, that's an interesting, it makes me think about what those lives are like and what stories, it's like things come together. Like you think, there's this world of driving a truck, and then there's different types of stories, which you also should be collecting. Romantic stories, suspense stories, horror stories, and whatever your genre is, types of stories within that. Like, if you think that horror stories are good and you want to do a vampire, well, lots of people have done vampires, but what's your vampire? And you say, a vampire long-distance trucker, cool. And you start to put things together, and that's how you make up ideas. Hold on. Where do you... If I don't write these things down, at the end of the hour, when I retype the summary, the description that goes into the video, and if I don't remember, I won't remember what we talked about, because time flies when you're having fun. Hi, Marital Toso. Hi, Dandelion. How do you know when your script is ready? I have discussed that elsewhere, but allow me to find this great quote. It's done when you know that everything you need to fix, you can't fix yet. That is one of the best quotes I've ever seen on this subject. The answer is, if you read through it and you might think, I don't think that part's the greatest, but I can't figure out what to do with it, then it's as done as you're going to get. You should not necessarily submit it to producers or publishers at that point. You should show it to other people, other writers, ideally, but also other people, any way that you can get some kind of feedback. Or sometimes it's done for now, and you need to put it aside and work on something else, because when you come back to it, having worked on something else, this is very important. It's not just time, it's actual attention elsewhere. That launders your brain enough that when you look at it, you see it fresh, and you may see things differently. I recently, just 2 weeks ago, a producer and I had worked on an idea about 3 years ago. And I had worked up a whole script on it, and I knew it wasn't right. I knew that it was about 50% right and 50% wrong, but I didn't know exactly why. It was the best I could do at the moment. I put it aside. We couldn't figure out what to do with it. And he called me recently. He said, that script, it still bugs me. It was a good idea. So I said, let me look at it. Now, I had not looked at it in 2 years. And I've done all this teaching since then. I reread the script, and it was incredibly apparent to me right away what was wrong. What was wrong was that basically the first half was a good, complete story, and the second half was like all this other stuff that was wonderful, but didn't make sense with the first half. And that I had thought I was just building on top of it, and that the first half was sort of the way into the big spectacle of the second half. But the truth is, the first half had more than enough. And as soon as I saw it, it's like, oh my God, I actually know how to fix this. I don't know if I'll actually do it, but it was pretty amazing to see something that at the top of my game, I could only go so far, step away, do other things, come back to it, and you see things. So Dan, I would say one of the things you do is go through it as many times as you can to make it as good as you can at the moment. However, you are never done. A script is never done. I can tell you, in post-production, you will be writing new lines and they'll be re-editing, and sometimes they even reshoot. A script is never finished. At a certain point, it's made and you can't do anything about it. Okay, so a hunch? You mean the idea? Hello, this is Kitschy. Hello, Rachel Waring. Okay, so anyway, the answer is you know when it's ready, when you can't think of anything that you think would make it better. That's as ready as it will get. You have to not overthink it. You have to just look at it and say, if I can see something, it's like, well, that line is too long. That's it. Fix it. When you hit the point where you're like, that might not work, but I think it's right, then you're done. Okay. Shark says, I tend to have all kinds of ideas when I'm doing something else, but the moment I try to write things down, my head turns empty. This is easy to solve. When you get the all kinds of ideas, write it down right then. Just jot it down. When you're doing something else, I mean, unless you're driving a high-speed vehicle on a racetrack, just take a second. Stop. Like I said, you pick up your phone, hit voice memo if you have to. I hate that, but people do it. They have dictation apps where you can just push a button and then dictate, say, oh, a story about a guy who lives inside a strawberry patch. And then later you have that, you type that in and you type that into a document, and then you have the beginnings of a story. The point is, never, ever let an idea get away. Just grab it when you have it. If you're in the shower, as soon as you get out of the shower, don't talk to anyone, write it down. Showers, by the way, reportedly are, like scientifically they've studied, showers are a particularly good place for creative thinking. You tend to be occupied with other things and the creative part of your mind loosens up. Walks, showers, cooking, there's lots of places where when that happens, grab it. That's the rule. There is actually a whole video I did on this topic called Brainstorming and Scrap Piles. However, the most important thing is write it down. The work comes when it has a place to go. If you just start making a habit of writing down characters, story ideas, lines of dialogue, and make a folder for each one, and every time you think of one, just put it in its own document and then throw it in the folder, or put them all in one document and just scroll through it. And then you always have and now you'll start to think, when you think of a character, go, oh, that's a character. It goes in that place. Having a place to put it makes the ideas stickier. That is my lesson. Yes, it is. It can be so. And it is shocking how amazingly obvious stepping away makes the solutions. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, children's bath grades or write ideas in the shower. That's genius. Or like a little whiteboard that with erasable things that you can put into the shower because it won't get it. Anyway, there you go. I have to get back to my script. Okay. I was wondering about that. Yeah, I was wondering that. Okay. Someone who doesn't like you very much. Somebody pointed the cops right at you. So that's someone who doesn't like you very much. Can't imagine why somebody wouldn't like a serial killer. Carl. Yes, I agree. Hi, Matthew. Okay. See, this is all out of order. And this is just repetitive. Draw you out, get you to make a mistake. So that's just all repetitive. Repetitive, okay. So here's the thing. This is just a lot of information that I don't have right. This is a great idea. This is great. When Xena says, like, you should join up with us to find the real killer because you didn't do it. That's just so emotionally complex if you think about it. This is Norman, actually, because it's a follow-up. Somebody pointed the right at you. Who would do that? Who did that? Who did that? And why? Yeah, seriously. Yeah, seriously. Can't imagine why someone wouldn't like a serial killer. This seems like it's at the end, because that's the big question. And then this stuff with Xena, that's just great. Thank you. Yeah, that's now and then you write a line. It's not a funny line by itself, but when you think about what these people are thinking and how their different views, good dialogue is when people are coming at things with such different views or understandings that their relation to each other through the words is like, whoa. That's yeah. Okay. All right, this is not great, but at least I've cut it down. I cut a page, and it's at least in a better order. I've never spoken about it. This is not a great line, but that's okay. All right. Matthew, whenever I write a first draft, I always write on the nose dialogue. I just put down what needs to be said for the purpose of the scene. Me too. That is, absolutely, yeah, just to get it down. Very often. But what's interesting is as you are doing that, other things start to pop into your head and you get them as well. It's like the on the nose part is kind of like getting the engine going, getting the muscles warmed up, so that the creative part can just start to flow out of that intention. I think that's the point about stating the on the nose thing is, first of all, make sure you got it. Make sure, this is important. And then second of all, it's like you're swinging your brain into the groove of that character because that's what they need to say. And then you start to think about more interesting ways to say it or responses to it. So there's nothing wrong with saying the on the nose thing. This is not the right thing, but at least it's a thing. Take care. The man is a serial killer. Okay, now here, I am saying the same thing 3 times. Takes a deep, frightened breath, looks around uneasy, feeling vulnerable. Do we really need this back and forth? That's an interesting question. I mean, editing-wise, this may be how it goes, but I'm not sure that we need to. There we go. Yeah, I think that's good. Yes, this is actually a major point. When you write, so this is important to keep in mind. It's funny. This is part of I'm doing the scripts for some new videos, like on character and dialogue. And one of the things I got to was this exact thought from This Is Kitschy, which is there's actually a real pleasure in writing something terrible because you know that you're going to feel so much smarter when you make it better, and there's no way you won't make it better. So therefore, it's like deliberately making a mess so that you'll clean it up and you'll feel like you got something accomplished. It's really good. Giving yourself the freedom to write the on the nose like helps you get through the first draft and gives clarity to what needs to be said. This is completely correct. Read this, everyone. This is right. giving yourself the freedom to write on-the-nose dialogue, to write the bad version, but to get to the point helps you get through the first draft. It helps you get it on the page, and it makes sure that you at least know what you're supposed to be saying, even if it's not how you're going to say it. This is not Dundosky. This is... No, it's not Madeline. Okay, I like this little exchange. We swore we would. No, we didn't. Kind of. I mean, it was implied. Yeah. I believe him. This is later. All right. See, now here I say quaint seaside New England town. And then I say street of cute touristy old clapboard and brick-fronted shops. Do I need every word here? There's something about the phrasing here which is very stepped back. That's why I'm thinking about whether I can cut it. It's like we're getting. I mean, the thing is, when you actually look at him, you'll see this. But how you describe it, it's de-dramatizing it. It's making it like a summary. Yeah, cute goes. Cute goes because I already had... I took out the other one, sweet. Yeah. I think touristy old brick-front shots, they're cute already. I don't think we need to say it's cute. And also, some people won't think it's cute and it doesn't matter. Some people think it's oppressive and tacky and fake. So... yeah, for the moment. Marvelously homely and full of richly colored soaps in baskets. Yeah, that'll happen. Okay. I'm just cutting here, guys. I'm just cutting at this point. Yes, I'll talk about that in a second. Let me just see where we are. So we're actually like almost down at this is almost the end. Look at that. Huh. Yeah. This is cuttable. Okay. Let's talk for a minute about Matthew's question about is it important for characters to have their own unique voice. Yes. Yes. And actually in the dialogue video that I'm working on, I try to talk about that. Also, there's yes. The tricky thing is how do you give a character a voice? And the answer is there's like several layers to it. The first is literally just the words you choose. If one character, the vocabulary they have indicates a level of education, a place they come from, a style, the vocabulary matters. But also a way of speaking. In other words, some people speak very emphatically, others ask more indirect, questiony. That's part of the distinctive voice. The other thing that's the voice is that the voice comes partly from the attitude behind it. In other words, their voice is more tentative or more poetic, or the not just the choice of words, but what they are choosing to say is their voice. And so, is it important to have the voice? Yes. If you are having trouble with that, if all your characters are coming out with the same voice, which everyone is going to have a little of that, and it's not the worst thing. I mean, all of Aaron Sorkin's people talk basically the same language. Likewise, David Mamet. Likewise, most people. Amy Sherman Palladino, who did Mrs. Maisel. I mean, all those people talk like it's fun. If you like that way of talking, then you want more people to be doing it. It's the world of a script can include everyone talking the same kind of language. That's cool. That's not a crime. But even within that, there is a difference to how people speak based on who they are. And so the way to focus on that is do what they call a pass, go through the script from beginning to end, just looking at that character, saying, I'm not going to worry about anybody else's problems. I'm not going to worry about the plot. I'm just going to worry about their dialogue. And just read through it, and every time they speak, think about it, like literally consciously say, I am going to give them a questioning voice. I'm going to give them an insulting voice. I'm going to, there's a tone, which is not just, but then of course you can like say, okay, this person's going to talk in very short sentences, and that person is going to talk in very long sentences. That's a voice. But once again, you don't have to go crazy like authentically changing voices. The truth is most good writers, all their characters kind of have the same style. And that's okay. That's not a crime. The crime is if all of them have the same attitude. That's where voice comes in. Just like a writer's voice isn't just their slang. It's their way of seeing characters. It's their way of seeing situations. And if you can go through the script and think about how the character is seeing the other characters, if you can think about their attitude towards the situations, it will give them a different voice. And, I think with that, we're going to stop because I'm basically at the end. I think tomorrow I'm going to get to the truth is this last couple of pages here. We're on 9. It's 4 pages. And I'm going to go through just to see, some quick trimming. I guess I could do it now. But basically, I'm at the end of this round of cutting. Can you believe it? What do you even mean? What do even you mean? I think there was something wrong there. What do you even mean evidence? Did you really give anything away in the call? The call is evidence, and he confessed. Yeah, now this she wouldn't say, but I do like somebody saying it. You know what? I don't know. I don't like a hell. See, now this is terrible. This is awful. I have now put something that's very important for these people to express out loud into the stage direction. This is just to fix this. Okay. Okay. What is your turnaround for screen? To a week or two. It depends on the week, but it's been going within 2 weeks. I'm ready to talk. How's the work? It's been okay. We're actually getting places. I'm actually we're down to 77 pages, and I'm going to be stopping now. And after this, the next step is going to be rereading it again and thinking and getting the bigger question of what do I have to fix, not just cutting. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't know. Someone we have not heard from yet, the Australian Heritage Quanta. Hello, Australian Heritage Quanta. I'm glad. Thank you. The $120 million plan. Here's the deal. For all of these, no problem, Natasha. The $120 million plan. A mere million will be fine. Hold on. Let me just get to the real news here. Hold on. All right. This is what you want to know. If you want to ask me a question or talk about my possibly working with you one-on-one, go to writingforscreens.com and click Contact Me. It's a little button. It's on almost every page, plus there's a little section for it. Contact Me. It will open up a little window on the screen that lets you just write me an email directly. That email will go to me. I will answer by email. And then we can find out what the reality is for whatever it is you think you want to do. That's how you contact me. Or if you want to ask me a question that you didn't get to ask me here, or if I just didn't answer your question well, or whatever. This is the magic way to contact me, and it is cleverly concealed in the button marked Contact Me on my website. Okay. All right. So, I think we're gonna say that, call it a day, because we unexpectedly got down. Oh, quick question from Aaron. Last second question. I haven't seen any of your early videos this series. Did you show how you outlined the story? Yes, I did. Okay, so if you just watch, the first, how many? I don't know, 40? For the first 40 hours is outlining. However, I very seriously suggest you check the why outline video and the how to outline video. These are most important. But if you actually want to watch me step by step building this outline, it is there in our initial, I guess, like 30 or 40 episodes, I am sure. So, when you have a spare 30 hours, check it out. See what it is. If not, if you have a specific question, email me through my website. And in the meantime, the main thing is go write something.